Tonight on CTV News at 6, the escalation of Trump's trade war as Canada's hit with even higher tariffs. Tariffs on Canadian imports jumps to 35%, while Alberta's premier calls the move disappointing, even though our province is exempt for the most part. Plus, Edmonton's food bank prepares to replenish the shelves with one of its biggest fundraisers.
We've seen tremendous growth in the number of people looking for food from us over the last couple of years.
And a sinkhole nabs a couple of cars in a Leuke apartment building parking lot.
Absolute shock. I had walked by an hour before. Everything was fine. I come back out, poof.
Another day of heat on the way for tomorrow, but then cloudier, cooler, and a good chance of some showers and thunderstorms to close the long weekend.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Nariman Issa.
Good evening. Alberta's premier says while she is disappointed President Donald Trump has increased tariffs on Canadian goods to 35%, she is pleased to see the majority of Alberta exports remain tariff-free. Goods that fall under the Canada-US-Mexico trade agreement are exempt from tariffs, including oil and gas and agricultural products. Danielle Smith is urging the federal government to continue negotiating to resolve trade issues with the United States while also diversifying the Canadian economy. Trump increasing tariffs after the two countries failed to reach a trade agreement has some Canadian leaders calling for retaliation. CTV's Rachel Aiello has more.
Do you think the government should retaliate? Have you spoken to the premiers at all about these recent tariffs?
Federal ministers had little to say today when pressed on Canada's next steps.
Prime Minister's trying to get the best deal he can for Canadians.
That wasn't the case when it came to provincial premiers.
We need to control what we can control. First and foremost, that is controlling the opportunities that we have in advancing our Canadian economies.
Or border town mayors.
Well, I think everything should be on the table. Two can play the game.
Retaliation wasn't mentioned in the Prime Minister's post-midnight response to the escalating trade war. In a statement, Mark Carney said the federal government is disappointed by the U.S. action and will act to protect Canadian jobs. He also took aim at Trump justifying the tariffs on the basis of the cross-border flow of fentanyl, but said this country will continue to negotiate with the U.S. while working to make Canadians their own best customers. The Canadian business community slamming Trump's justifications.
We know it's false. They know it's false. This is the pretext that's being used to try to defend these tariffs in the courts.
While there's relief that exemptions under the North American Free Trade Agreement remain, stakeholders want the revenue from Canada's countermeasures to start flowing to those on the front lines of the trade war.
It's right now all bad, not at the end of the rope, but pretty close to it.
Trade experts say while the current situation is not ideal, no deal is better than a bad deal.
A good deal for Canada is not just a baseline tariff with a USMCA exemption. It really is getting to the heart of the problem for us, which is those sectoral tariffs, those industry-specific tariffs like steel, like autos.
Carney's lead minister on the file is coming back from D.C. tonight without meeting with any new Americans today. But Dominic LeBlanc's office assures us he is keeping in contact with his counterpart, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
We'll have more on which sectors will be most impacted by the tariffs and how the cost will trickle down to Canadian consumers later in the show. Unionized Canada Post workers have rejected what the Crown Corporation called its final offer. Today was the last day workers could vote on the offer. The vote was forced by the federal government. The offer included a 13% hike over 4 years. It would also have added part-time workers, Canada Post says, are necessary to stay afloat. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers say its members, quote, resoundingly and decisively rejected the offer. The union previously said if the offer was rejected, it would invite Canada Post management back to the bargaining table as soon as possible. 2 cars that fell into a sinkhole in Leuke have been removed, leaving a gaping hole in a parking lot. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has reaction from neighbors.
This sinkhole swallowed up 2 cars parked by an apartment building in Leuke Thursday night, leaving some neighbors caught off guard.
Absolute shock. I had walked by an hour before. Everything was fine. I come back out, poof.
They usually keep pretty good care of this place, so I was pretty shocked when I seen this on Facebook.
I'd have to say it's a freak of nature. It happens once in a while.
Christina Forrester was walking her dogs when she saw what happened.
They came around the corner to drive in their parking spot, and the ground just like that.
The 2 cars nearly fell all the way in before they were towed out. It's unclear what caused the sinkhole. The area around it at McEwen Greens has since been fenced up. Ken Cochran lives in the area and isn't worried his car could be next.
We have one that here, and we also keep an underground one, so our vehicle's always safe, hopefully, because it could happen over there. Who knows? It's a freak.
The city says it's not aware of any injuries that occurred. It says the infrastructure under the parking lot wasn't installed or owned by the city since it's a private development. CTV News reached out to the property managers of the building but didn't hear back. And while the hole awaits to be fixed up, Forrester thinks there could be one use for the unwelcomed hole.
It would make a great pool.
In Leduc, Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News.
The number of people coming to rely on Edmonton's food bank has almost doubled in 3 years. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, the organization is asking for your help this long weekend.
Volunteers sort through food donations, items that leave this warehouse almost as fast as it comes in.
We are at a very challenging place for Edmonton's food bank and the community we're serving. We've seen tremendous growth in the number of people looking for food from us over the last couple of years, so it's been a challenge trying to get the volume of food in.
Supply they're hoping to replenish through one of their biggest food drives of the summer.
We're hoping people will come down to the Heritage Festival and bring a kind donation of non-perishable food or a monetary donation.
Naeem Al-Khatib knows firsthand how life-changing the food bank services can be. His family escaped the conflict in Gaza for the safety of Canada in June 2024. He says starting a new life here wasn't easy.
Needed food for my family, 7 members, 7 adults by that time. And I wasn't working. I was unemployed.
The food bank not only provided food for Al-Khatib's family, but gave him a chance to become a volunteer.
A good experience because, as you know, for newcomers, it's very hard to get into the job market because we don't have the local experience.
Helping others is something he now gets to do every day. He became an employee at the food bank, working in client services.
I'm very thankful for providing me a new, safe and dignified life here in Canada.
Nearly 44,000 people are provided food through the hamper program each month, a 42% increase since 2022.
We feel like we're always asking for help, but the reality is we're always being asked for help.
There will be volunteers collecting non-perishable food items and donations at 3 sites at the Heritage Festival this weekend. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
For many Albertans, the long weekend means exploring the great outdoors. Adventurers can take advantage of a new free technology that helps you stay connected even in cell service dead zones. Experts in safety and tech are calling the satellite service a game changer. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
When you're out here, cell service is expected to be spotty. That's the case in many less remote parts of Canada, too, anywhere cell towers like this aren't close by. In mid-July, Rogers launched a new service to keep you connected almost anywhere.
Initially, it's somewhat limited. It's only texting.
The service is a partnership with SpaceX and Link Global, which develops what it calls cell towers in space, allowing newer cell phones to use low-orbiting satellites to send messages. iPhone users may notice a prompt to try out the built-in tech when they have poor or no service.
You still have to have carriers in the country where you live providing service that takes advantage of that hardware capability. That's what this Rogers satellite announcement is.
People who explore the outdoors may already use dedicated satellite devices to send messages from remote areas.
So I'm in Grand Cache, so it'll show you whereabouts I was.
No kidding.
Yeah, so In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere. So this was me during an ultramarathon.
Devices like these can cost hundreds of dollars, plus a monthly subscription. Rogers is offering the satellite cell service to people on any network for free until the trial period ends in October.
I'm going out to the mountains again for 2 weeks, so I'm probably going to get that before I go.
The one advantage of the cell phone is it kind of enables everybody to have that with them on a device they carry every day.
This search and rescue expert believes the tech will save lives, but it's not bulletproof.
It is not the safety plan. It's an element of your safety plan.
It's a Rogers exclusive for now, but one tech expert believes other cellular providers aren't far behind.
It's only a matter of time before you can walk into any store, any carrier, on any phone, and you can add this onto your plan. And I think that makes a lot of sense for Canadians who travel.
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Elk Island National Park is reminding visitors alcohol and cannabis are banned, even in campgrounds this long weekend. Now, in a cheeky online post, the park says the only thing that should be getting toasted this weekend is your marshmallow. In answering the why, it goes on to say the bison didn't consent to your late-night karaoke. Banff campsites also have a full ban on alcohol and cannabis on the long weekends in the summer. In Jasper, consumption is allowed at campsites as long as it's outside the quiet hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. You could receive up to $10,000 in rebates from EPCOR through its new RainWise program. The 3-year pilot program launched earlier this spring. It aims to slow down the direct draining of rainwater into storm drains. EPCOR says it'll reduce both the demand on its system and the risk of flooding on properties. Rebates range from $2,000 to $10,000. EPCOR says it's received more than 200 applications since its launch.
Those are rain barrels, but also soil cells, rain gardens, anything you can think of where that water that's running off from the hard surface is then going to something other than straight to the street.
You need to apply for the rebate and get approval before you start your project. More information can be found on our website at ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Click on news links. The city says Edmonton's recent hot weather is keeping mosquito activity low. The city of Edmonton says mostly dry weather since the spring has prevented mosquito populations from going through their full life cycle. Canada's health agency recently confirmed Canada's first case of the West Nile virus in Toronto. If a mosquito is carrying the virus and bites you, flu-like symptoms can result. A technologist with the city's pest management lab says concern for West Nile is low in Edmonton.
Those mosquito numbers have been really low this summer. Culex pipiens, the most likely vector in our area, has been less than 1% of our mosquito counts.
The city says the best way to prevent the virus is to prevent mosquito breeding. That means keeping standing water to a minimum, including regularly draining bird baths and flower pots. While checking in on your friends and family in this heat, you may also want to touch base with your trees. Extended periods of heat can be hard on trees. Experts say a stressed out one may have wilting or cupping leaves. There also may be some scorching. The best way to support your flora is with water.
Water acts as a transport vehicle, essentially, and transports nutrients to the tree. So when it doesn't have enough of that water, enough of those transport vehicles, it can suffer.
Davy Tree Edmonton says for heat waves lasting a week or longer, be sure to give your tree a good soaking once or twice a week. Aim for early morning or late evening waterings and make sure the water doesn't hit the trunk, as that can encourage fungal growth. Davy Tree Edmonton also suggests using fertilizer to replenish any nutrients the tree may be lacking, and a good layer of mulch to help with water retention. All right, first check on weather. Josh, you know everyone's looking at the weather. It's a long weekend. We got festivals, music. We got Heritage Festival, camping. What are we expecting?
A little bit of everything this long weekend. You get some heat tomorrow with, again, more thunderstorms in through the foothills. We might see some thunderstorms tomorrow night. And then scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday and into early Monday. We'll get into that in a little more detail in a second. It's 30 degrees in Edmonton right now after hitting 31 for a daytime high today. 30.9, but we'll round that up. 24 is the average daytime high. Started the day at 17. It's been sunny pretty much all day. This is what it looks like outside right now with CTV drone. There's a little bit of thin cloud cover out ahead of those thunderstorms in the foothills that is starting to slide in from the west. We're not going to see any showers or thunderstorms, though. Should be a beautiful evening to be out on the river. Heat warning still in effect for all the areas in pink. That'll be in place from Edmonton off to the east and northeast for one more day tomorrow, and then it should end on Sunday. Parts of northwestern Alberta, you're going to see that ended already by tomorrow. The yellow and red zones, severe thunderstorm watches and warnings. It's actually a new warning that's just been issued. There's 2 storms that we're watching, one north of Edson, another one there off to the west of Rocky Mountain House. And if you look just north of that storm, west of Rocky Mountain House, you see those 2 little pink dots? That has now prompted a severe thunderstorm warning. Hail and heavy downpours. You see those storms aren't really moving all that much. So if you're underneath one of those storm cores, it is pouring. We'll probably see a few of those storms push into the Whitecourt region as we head through this evening, but you can see in Edmonton, we're way off to the east. So just a bit of that thin cloud cover out ahead of that. Should clear out overnight tonight. We'll get some sunshine to start tomorrow, then back up to 30 tomorrow afternoon with the risk of an evening thunderstorm. We'll take a closer look at the chances for rain Sunday, Monday, later in the newscast.
Thank you, Josh. Well, coming up, a warning from an Uber customer on a ride that ended in the driver being fired.
I immediately felt my heart drop to my stomach, and I was like, where are we going? He was like, the liquor store. And I was like, I just want to go home, please.
More on the safety aspect of taking ride shares. Plus,
while these products are helpful, they tend to be pricier than their traditional counterparts, and they often have complicated setup processes.
Household appliances getting the AI treatment. A woman says while taking an Uber recently, the driver made several sexual advances towards her and at one point deviated from her route home. He's now banned from the platform. CTV's Tariff reports from Calgary.
I haven't for quite some time now.
What should have been a safe ride home turned into a nightmare for Akaya Dos Santos. The 23-year-old was picked up from a nightclub around 2 o'clock in the morning on July 19th by an Uber driver with a 5-star review.
He was asking me, how was your night? How was the club? Oh, I've never been here before. And then he started asking me, well, do you want to go with me tomorrow?
Dos Santos became uncomfortable when the man kept asking her to sit up front and making sexual advances, so she started recording.
I'm happy just chilling in the back.
In the video, the man is heard asking if she'd had sex that night. She says despite being visibly intoxicated, the man kept offering to buy her alcohol and go back to her place together, which she declined.
Do you need some drinks or?
Drinks?
Yeah.
I think I'm up as is.
She says she tried to be friendly, brushing off his comments because she felt vulnerable as the only passenger. But when the driver began to deviate away from her route home, she got scared.
I immediately felt my heart drop to my stomach, and I was like, where are we going? He was like, the liquor store. And I was like, I just want to go home, please.
When she finally arrived home, she reported the ride to Uber. The company banned the driver in a statement saying this behavior is unacceptable and has no place on the Uber platform, adding the man had been an Uber driver since 2024 with no prior complaints. Calgary police did investigate, but no charges were laid. However, the city of Calgary did revoke the driver's rideshare license.
Something seems strange, terminate that trip immediately, and then once that trip is complete and you're in a safe place, please reach out and we'll investigate.
Uber has several safety features, like an emergency button that shares real-time information with 911 operators. The company is also testing a feature in parts of the U.S. that allows female riders to request a female driver. But with no plans to bring it to Canada, Dos Santos wants women to be more alert when riding alone.
I just keep thinking of, what if I was more intoxicated that night? Very scary situation.
Tariff, CTV News, Calgary.
Calgary's Vehicle for Hire department encourages all rideshare users to verify their ride before getting in, including the make and color of the car, driver's name, and license plate. It also says you should share your route with someone and call 911 immediately if you are in danger. Well, more home appliances are starting to use robotic technology and artificial intelligence, everything from lawnmowers to refrigerators. CTV's Pat Foran has a look at the benefits of the new features and the potential costs.
From vacuuming your floors to cleaning your grill, today's smart appliances promise convenience at the touch of a button. But are they delivering? Consumer Reports has the latest in home and garden tech.
While these products are helpful, they tend to be pricier than their traditional counterparts, and they often have complicated setup processes and require extra tinkering to keep them working.
Take Samsung's new $5,000 bespoke refrigerator, which comes with an AI vision camera that's supposed to recognize the groceries you add to your fridge. When researchers tested the feature, it worked about half the time and struggled with packaged foods like milk and soft drinks. Evaluations of robotic lawnmowers found you'll need to pre-mow your grass to a specific height before you can set these robots loose on your lawn. And all that convenience will cost you hundreds to thousands of dollars. But it's not all bad news. Some smart products like robotic vacuums have come a long way. They're now better at dodging obstacles, navigating tight spaces, and picking up dirt along edges and in corners. And while not exactly a robot, researchers say a smart thermostat is a great investment.
These will cut down on your heating and cooling bills using AI to automatically adjust the temperature, especially when you're not home. They also connect to demand response programs from your local utility company, which can give you discounts on your bill.
So while robots are making improvements, they won't be taking over your home just yet. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Well, still ahead, competing for Best in Show.
We all believe our dogs are the best, so of course he is.
More on the Canine Championship that has dogs and its owners gunning for best in the province.
One more day, up around 30 tomorrow, and then daytime highs drop back into the low to mid-20s for Sunday and long weekend Monday. Forecast next.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Century Casino, 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every dog owner thinks they've got the best pooch. Now a select few are trying to prove it this weekend in Okotoks. That's where the Alberta Kennel Club Summer Classic Dog Show is happening. It's pitting canines against each other in agility, obedience, and appearance. CTV's Tim Brooke has more from the show.
This is Laser, and this is one of his favorite days of the year.
Senior puppy male, 381.
Laser is one pooch in a crowded field at this weekend's Alberta Kennel Club Summer Classic Dog Show.
We all believe our dogs are the best, so of course he is.
Laser is a good boy, but he'll have some stiff competition. There's Razzo in agility.
He's beautiful, he's full of life. I absolutely love this dog.
And Cash in obedience as soon as he gets up.
3 baths and blow dry and a lot of combing and just a little bit of scissoring to take some of the odd repairs.
There's also competitors in scent detection and, of course,
to win a Best in Show is like winning the Olympics.
The main event will see just about every breed imaginable go nose to nose.
We have about 700 to 800 dogs entered there each day.
And about 1,200 spectators for the show's first public competition at the Okotoks Agricultural Society.
People just love dogs.
It's just exciting. I love it when I see the tents up and all the people, all the dogs. We get to see different breeds we don't normally see. It's just so much fun.
And believe it or not, for those hardened competitors, the dogs aren't the main draw.
Favorite part, it's the interaction with the exhibitors. You know, we share tips and tricks, and it's just a vacation, mini vacation too.
All the camaraderie that we have here, and it's just like family.
The dog show runs literally until Monday evening. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Okotoks.
Is it going to rain cats and dogs over the weekend in some parts?
In localized spots, yes. Determining where exactly the heaviest of the rain is going to be is when it's hit and miss like this. It's a little tough a couple days out. There's what it looks like outside right now with the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right over, it's free. 31 for a high. We're at 30 in Edmonton right now. 32 in Fort McMurray today, as well as Peace River. High level got to 31. Red Deer and Lloydminster at 28 for daytime highs. Heat warning for all the areas in pink, which includes Grand Prairie and high level. It's just that you're also under a severe thunderstorm watch. This will end. The heat warning will end for Grand Prairie, Peace River tomorrow. It'll stay in effect for Edmonton and off to the northeast for one more day tomorrow. In the red zones, severe thunderstorm warnings where you do actually have some active severe weather. Those storms there, that one there. Couple clusters here producing some really significant amounts of rain. It is pouring, and with these kind of pulse storms that just sort of pop up, they don't really move all that much. If you get underneath one of those rain cores, you're getting drenched. Also probably seeing a little bit of hail out of those pink zones. All of that will stay well to the west and northwest of the Edmonton area. You can see this is a lot of lightning. This will be the case again tomorrow in through the foothills. If you're doing any camping, especially in western Alberta, make sure you have a way to receive severe weather alerts. There will probably be some severe thunderstorms in parts of central and western Alberta late tomorrow. All right, let's take you through tonight. Showers and thunderstorms pushing into the Whitecourt region. They fizzle out, then rematerialize around Grand Prairie tomorrow morning. Could be a noisy start to the long weekend up in parts of the Peace Country. Southern Alberta, we'll see some scattered showers and thunderstorms through the morning and early afternoon hours. There's your thunderstorm activity again through the foothills through tomorrow afternoon. And a chance for some development here off to the east and southeast of Edmonton through tomorrow afternoon. I still have 30 in the forecast for tomorrow. If these storms develop over Edmonton instead of just outside the city, and it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then maybe we'll only get to 28 or 29. If they hold off until around supper time, then we'll probably get to 30. Wave after wave of shower and thunderstorm activity, scattered in nature, though, for the rest of Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. And then midday Sunday and into the afternoon hours, pretty good chance for some thunderstorms in the Edmonton region. So for the weekend, Sunday midday, early afternoon is one of the best chances for us to see showers, thunderstorms. And then overnight Sunday night into early Monday morning could be some steadier rain. That'll then move off into northeastern Alberta through the course of the day Monday. I think we'll actually see some sunny breaks Monday afternoon here in the city. If you're in northeastern Alberta for this weekend, you should be dry tomorrow, but scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday and a wet Monday for you. 32 degrees in Fort McMurray right now, 29 in Grand Prairie, and 30 here in Edmonton. Red Deer's at 26 degrees. We'll see temperatures around 26, 27 degrees at 9 o'clock tonight here in the city. 17 tomorrow morning with sunshine to start. Partly cloudy in the afternoon. High of around 30 degrees, and then that risk of a late day shower or thunderstorm. Chance of some scattered showers or thunderstorms midday Sunday, and then some steadier rain potentially overnight Sunday night into Monday morning with some clearing by Monday afternoon. And after being near 30 tomorrow, low to mid-20s for highs Sunday, Monday.
Thank you, Josh. Well, coming up, the impact of a U.S. tariff hike.
Those are pretty clearly and obviously Canadian.
But Canadian sectors will be hit hardest, and how that will trickle down to the prices we pay. Also next.
The chickens are coming home to roost on Donald Trump's destructive trade war.
Canadians are not the only ones feeling the impact of Trump's tariffs. They're a fact on the American job market after the break.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Failure to reach a new trade deal by U.S. President Donald Trump's deadline means Canada is now facing 35% tariffs on all goods not covered by the current trade agreement. From global markets to Canada's economy, the impacts of tariffs are far-reaching and also complicated. CTV's Genevieve Boschman reports.
Touted as an escape hatch from some of the tariffs, CUSMA may shield some businesses, but how much? The deal signed in 2018 by Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. exempts a wide range of products from tariffs. Take grown and raised in Canada food products. They're covered by that free trade agreement.
If you look at some of the products that we export, those are unprocessed products, live animals, live hogs, live cattle, wheat, canola, those sorts of things. those are pretty clearly and obviously Canadian.
And a big percentage, 86% of Canada's exports have the potential to qualify for that exemption. That's on paper, though. In practice, only nearly 40% of trade happened under CUSMA last year. Many exporters, particularly smaller businesses, have not filed the compliance paperwork.
And what I've been seeing is that more and more businesses are rushing to become CUSMA compliant, something that I have been criticizing for a long time, that in Canada we have that complacency, or shown this complacency, we have had this free trade for a long time.
And for sectors not covered under CUSMA, the trickle-down costs will also add up for consumers. Take the 50% slapped on aluminum.
Any canned drinks will increase per can between 3 and 5 cents, right? This is the net effect of cost on the producer of the canned drink. But by the time it's handed down to the tariff, it's 10, 15, 20 cents to the consumer.
Other sectors like steel, lumber, and automobiles have also taken a big hit, and the cost of things like appliances are likely to keep going up. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Donald Trump is calling on the Federal Reserve's board to usurp Chair Jerome Powell, calling him, quote, a stubborn moron for not cutting short-term interest rates. It's the latest verbal attack from the president, targeting the chair he appointed in his first term. Trump has called for slashing the Fed's benchmark rate by 3 percentage points. A rate cut that large could accelerate inflation. In May, the Supreme Court ruled Trump cannot remove Powell from policy disagreements. Powell's term as chair ends in May next year. Unemployment is rising in the United States.
It is disturbing to say, but the chickens are coming home to roost on Donald Trump's destructive trade war, and the American people are paying the price.
The U.S. Bureau of Labor says just 73,000 jobs were created in July. Unemployment rose to 4.2%, rather. The job numbers from May and June were also revised sharply lower, down by 258,000 from the previously posted levels. The new figure for June was the lowest number of jobs created in 1 month in nearly 5 years, at 14,000. Donald Trump says he is firing the Commissioner of Labor Statistics, accusing her, without evidence, of faking job numbers before the election. The U.S. president is ordering the repositioning of 2 U.S. nuclear submarines over what he calls highly provocative statements by Russia's former president. Dmitry Medvedev says Russia is right on everything and will continue to go its own way, hours after Trump called him a failed president in an overnight post. It's not clear what impact Trump's order will have, since U.S. nuclear subs routinely patrol the world's hotspots. Trump has threatened new sanctions on Russia next week if progress isn't made by Russia on a ceasefire with Ukraine. The U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East and the Ambassador to Israel visited southern Gaza today amid international outrage over starvation and deadly chaos near aid distribution sites. Steve Witkoff and Mike Huckabee toured one of the privately run U.S. and Israeli-backed distribution sites. Witkoff says the purpose of the visit was to give President Trump a clear understanding of the humanitarian situation and to help craft a plan to deliver food and medical aid to the people of Gaza. Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says Canada is still blocking military export permits to Israel for any materials that could be used in Gaza. Anita Anand responded to a report from a coalition of Canadian advocates for Palestinians, which said it identified multiple shipments from Canada to Israel. It includes one identified as tanks and other armored fighting vehicles and parts for such vehicles. Anand says the report is flawed. She says the bullets identified by the Israel Tax Authority were actually paintball-style projectiles that can't be used in combat. Some people in BC's Okanagan are returning home after a wildfire forced them to evacuate. Peachland's mayor says residents from about 250 homes are being allowed to return. However, they remain on evacuation alert. Around 150 houses are still on evacuation orders, including the mayor's. Now, he says crews are working hard to fight an out-of-control grass fire.
They're now putting out the spot fires here and there. We will remain vigilant because you never know when there's a thunderstorm where it will hit in the Okanagan.
And there is a thunderstorm watch for the area. A SpaceX rocket carrying 4 crew members is on its way to the International Space Station.
Mission full power and liftoff. Go Thomas, go NASA, go Crew 11.
The Falcon 9 rocket successfully blasted off from the Kennedy Center in Florida this morning. The launch was a day late because of bad weather. 2 NASA astronauts, one from Japan and one from Russia, and 1 Russian cosmonaut are on board. They are expected to dock overnight and replace the existing crew for a 6-month mission. Well, stay with us. Up next, through the glass ceiling and beyond.
I'm a very adrenaline junkie, so I love flying.
Canadian researchers challenging gender bias in the aviation industry. Also next.
We are here to party and have a good time for 3 days straight, maybe longer.
Big Valley Jamboree returns to Camrose this weekend. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for around 72 cents U.S. Oil was down nearly $2, closing at $67 U.S. a barrel. Gold is up $51. Now the TSX was down 239 points, while the Dow Jones was also down by 542 points. Canadian researchers are using technology to challenge gender biases. A new study found female pilots perform better under pressure. CTV's Heather Centerin reports.
Preksha Shah is in her happy place.
For me personally, I'm a very adrenaline junkie, so I love flying, and it's also just really cool.
While this is a high-fidelity flight simulator, the aviation student has been in the cockpit of the real deal, too.
And the end goal, I definitely want to be a commercial airline pilot.
Shah is one of 20 participants in a study at the University of Waterloo using the simulator.
We have data that challenges traditional assumptions in aviation these days, and that's kind of groundbreaking to be able to have this evidence to support the fact that, women belong in this industry.
For the study, participants with the same experience wore eye-tracking glasses and completed standard flight tasks, but with a twist. An unexpected total engine failure.
I was immediately able to be okay, we've had an engine failure and the runway's right there. Now I just need to land.
As calmly and as safely as possible.
And then maneuver the plane to said space where they could land the plane and let the air traffic controllers know that there was a mayday, there's an emergency on board.
The lead author of the study says women may be better at keeping control and making decisions in stressful flight scenarios.
Female participants were able to manage that much better in these high-stress scenarios versus those male pilots who ended up having a little bit more error with respect to, say, things like the airspeed they were trying to control while coming down from this engine failure and safely landing the plane.
Highlighting the importance of looking beyond surface-level indicators when measuring pilot performance.
Only 6 to 7% of airline pilots are women, and that's a tremendous challenge when you think about there not being enough pilots in the system, and how do we attract and retain a workforce to support the future.
The team hopes their findings will help shape what the industry looks for pilots of the future. Heather Centerin, CTV News, Waterloo.
Country Music Festival Big Valley Jamboree is taking over Camrose this long weekend.
It's really special that we do see so many different people from different generations that have been enjoying the festival for decades or for their very first time.
Organizers say Big Valley Jamboree has seen significant growth in attendance since the festival started 32 years ago. Through the course of the weekend, some of country's biggest names and up-and-coming artists will perform. Headliners include Blake Shelton, Jason Aldean, and Bailey Zimmerman. Canadian band James Barker Band takes the stage on Saturday.
People are just like in it for the whole weekend. You know what I mean? It's not like they're going to a concert for one night and then they're going back. They're like, no, we are here to party and have a good time for 3 days straight, maybe longer. And just looking forward to that, being back and being a part of that.
Tickets for ground passes and camping are still available. The Red Deer Jazz Festival is running this weekend. Jazz enthusiasts can take in a performance on Saturday featuring Canadian saxophonist Kirk MacDonald and New York pianist Bruce Barth. The Red Deer Community for Jazz Music has been putting on the festival annually since 2022.
Jazz music definitely is a niche in today's environment, but it's incredibly important to keep it alive because it's a performing art. It's something that people live and craft and spend their whole lives working on.
The concert will take place Saturday at 6:30 p.m. at the Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd. Tickets are available for purchase online or at the door. Well, coming up, new parents welcoming an old soul.
The fact that somebody who wanted to have a baby but couldn't now has one thanks to a frozen embryo.
Why the newborn is being called the world's oldest baby.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
An Ohio couple's new baby boy is being called the world's oldest baby. Now, he came from an embryo frozen for more than 30 years ago. ABC's Andrea Fuji has more.
A new record, a baby born from an embryo frozen more than 30 years ago. A medical feat, stunning, even doctors.
The fact that somebody who wanted to have a baby but couldn't now has one thanks to a frozen embryo that was frozen 30 years ago, that is remarkable.
Last week, Thaddeus was born in Ohio to his adoptive parents, Tim and Lindsay Pierce. We had a rough birth, but we are both doing well now. The new mom telling MIT Technology Review, "We are in awe that we have this precious baby." Thaddeus was conceived in a lab in 1994 by Linda Archer, who's now 62 years old. She and her then husband used IVF, a fairly new technology at the time, to eventually have their now 30-year-old daughter. But they froze 3 other unused embryos. Years later, faced with the decision of what to do with those embryos, Archer learned about a Christian embryo adoption agency in which donors have a say in whom can receive the embryos. The Pierces were a perfect match. Doctors say implanting older embryos is not necessarily riskier.
If these eggs are frozen properly and they are thawed and past screening, they can be just as healthy as an embryo created today.
The Pierces in their 30s had been trying for 7 years to have a baby. They were barely 5 years old when their now son's embryo was frozen. The new mom saying, "We didn't go into it thinking we would break any records. We just wanted to have a baby." About 1 million frozen embryos are estimated to be in storage in the U.S., leaving the ethical question of what to do with them all.
Such as the future fate of the embryo, who possibly owns them, is there a time limit? All of these are important ethical considerations.
Baby Thaddeus' biological mom says he looks just like his 30-year-old sister did when she was a baby, and she hopes to meet him one day. Andrea Fuji, ABC News, New York.
All right, one more hot one tomorrow. We get to 31 today, 30 tomorrow with sunshine in the morning and then partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. Chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm around supper time or early evening. Sunday, mostly cloudy, a little cooler. About 22 or 23 for a daytime high, depending on whether or not we get those showers in the afternoon. Best chance might actually be Sunday night into early Monday morning, and then some clearing for Monday afternoon. Anywhere between 22 and 26 for highs. Sunday, Monday, just kind of depended on the timing and intensity of those showers. Mid-20s looks like for Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So if the heat's been too much for you the past couple of days.
You do love the rain at night.
Yeah.
During the day, like, can you just give us a break?
Well, yeah, and I wouldn't go canceling plans just yet. It is going to be pretty hit and miss, but if you get hit with one of those, you could be in for a fairly soggy time.
All right. Thank you, Josh, for that. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your night, a great weekend. I'll see you back here. I'll see you back here at 11:30.
Have a good weekend.